And welcome back. The hashtag is TTTT at the Trend Live is our handle. Welcome to the show. Our first show of the year. So we are present. We're present. And unfortunately, there's a story that we talk about on this show. We have talked about more times than I can count on one hand, which is a femicide story where we hear about a young woman who was killed, due to some romantic encounter. Socialite Starlet Wahu, who was brutally murdered inside an Airbnb apartment in South B, Nairobi County, on the night of the 3rd of January, died of excessive bleeding. On Friday, a postmortem was conducted on the body of the socialite, who was buried on Saturday at her family home in Kamulu, which revealed that she bled to death. Now, if any of you guys have seen, when Kanyari was talking about what had happened, they said that when the cops arrived at the scene, they saw that she was trying to get out of the door, but he had locked the door from the outside, so she couldn't really leave, but she was attempting to leave. And, with the stains on the wall, the blood stains, they could tell that she was trying to defend herself, she was trying to fight him off, but, he won. May her soul rest in peace. Yeah. We say pole sana to the family. I don't know how you could avoid something like this, Kwach. Do you?
I don't know. I don't know. First of all, when the NTV team went there to do the investigation, to try and follow up on the story, there were some other details that were coming out that almost make it look like that this is a habit this guy already had.
Right.
That she was not the first victim.
Yeah.
The others were just lucky to escape with their lives. This is one that turned into something that it wasn't supposed to turn out to be. And then ikakuwa tu kitu haikukua. And it's always crazy to me how every single moment there is something happening near you that you would not imagine. Within the same apartment where this Airbnb was, there are people who live there, there are people who also went to rent the space, and yet this thing was happening next door, and they did not know.
Yeah.
I don't know how we are able to preempt such kind of actions, because leave alone, people have brought the moral debate into this story, and there is no issue with them. These are two, let's not mix apples and oranges.
Willing buyer, willing seller.
Yes. Let's not talk about what was going on.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that later. Let's address the crime of murder first.
Yes.
That this is someone who lured this lady into a room, wakafungania huko, whatever it is they had agreed to do or not to do, that does not matter. It is that eventually, after they disagreed, he stabbed her. And she's not the first victim of stabbing that he's had, allegedly.
Yeah. Cindy, I don't know if you've seen this story, but Mato wants to say something. Mato, go ahead.
I want to very carefully disagree with Coach.
Okay.
For this reason. The reason why it is not just a murder story. The reason why it is not just the story of a man who killed a woman. The reason why it is not just a story of Kenyan killing another Kenyan is because of the circumstances around it. Okay? Yes, we can focus on the murder, but let us not also ignore the circumstances around it. Not to villainize it, but to also acknowledge that it is something that is happening. That should be the next conversation. Not ignore it completely.
Something that is happening as in?
Yeah.
Men and women meeting on social media and agreeing.
No, the business itself.
The socialite story and what I'm saying is, mganga akiuliwa, mganga ameuliwa, ye kwa mganga
never comes up.
We will come up later.
Yes.
If someone was killed, we have had cops being blamed for extrajudicial killing when they have killed. Rashid, the cop wa Isili, is now under trial for the Isili video where people were being shot and people knew those were thugs. It does not matter, regardless, we do not have facts, but it does not matter what she was doing or what they were in that room for. That's another conversation altogether.
Yes.
But still,
like
our constitution protects life regardless of the business we're doing. That's why our first conversation is the femicide first.
Yes.
Then we will handle the moral issues of should men, women and men go to Airbnbs is and do
No,
whatever.
it's not that. That's not the point I'm making, Kwach.
Make
It's,
the
it's
point
me
so I
saying,
make my point.
acknowledging that it is a business that is present and thriving.
What business?
So he's
He's not
talking
refusing,
about
Mato, he's
prostitution.
saying the business should be considered after the fact
Yes.
that we investigate this human being whose life was taken.
Yeah.
You understand what? So
Because
it's
the
like
moment you
justice-
mix
I
them
know.
together,
It's
the moment you
almost
start
like-
talking about them together, Mato,
It's-
you lose this principal issue that someone was murdered.
But
the
allow
moment
me
you
to-
start, it almost
It's
starts
almost like
justifying.
justifying.
It's not. No.
No, it
No,
almost
no.
does.
Not for you,
No.
not for you, Mato.
Yes.
But for many Kenyans who are very conservative and religious, it's almost like you were looking for it. You went out searching for it.
Yeah.
That's why when
Like
you bring
if
in
you
the
if you
details,
if you lock yourself in with a married man inside a room, you will be killed. That's what the news could be.
Or if you dress a certain way for a date
Yeah.
and then you're raped, then you asked for it, that sort
Yeah,
of thing.
exactly.
But allow me to pick a bit from Kwach and a bit from Mato and just say, first of all, deepest condolences to the family. It's a tragedy when something happens and your family buries you in 2 days. They're like, let's just move on, because they are so traumatized by what happened, they want to have some semblance of moving on. So my deepest condolences. And my only hope is that through this very, 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 very tragic incident, there are so many women who are coming up and finding a voice and saying, me too, this happened to me, this happened to me, this happened to me. And I hope that collectively, as global citizens of the Republic of Kenya, when you get on these online sites, you're a bit more, unavuta maskio. Let this be a lesson to you. Borrowing from Mato's side, if you're doing it commercially, borrowing from Kwach's side, which is willing buyer, willing seller. You're an adult, you know what you want, and you go for it. That there are people in this world who do not want the best for you.
They are
so
looking
you
out for
should
themselves,
be
yeah.
very careful
Yes.
before you commit your body, mind, and spirit to
But
somebody
Cindy,
that you
sometimes-
have met online.
sometimes you just don't know.
True.
Sometimes you just don't know. If you read
And
the
hence
stories,
the caution.
he tries to, you know, he comes into your life. He provides solutions.
Right.
He sends you money. He tries to make sure that you're
Yeah.
comfortable, that you feel safe. So you trust him. It's almost like Tinder Swindler
Yes.
or Inventing Anna. Where
Yeah.
if I hang around Kwach and Mato long enough,
Yeah.
and they see me expending or spending about 100 to 150,000 a night.
Yeah.
When I call Kwach, I call Mato and I tell him, yo, Mato, I need 30K. Mato will not bat an eye. He won't doubt it because he's seen me do it. So it's almost like you build a trust
Yeah.
with this person, and then you meet them, and he does it on the first night. I
Yes.
think with this Matara person, other than the fact that he looked like a walking red flag, you guys saw the picture. You know, sometimes as women,
I was like, is it just me? Is it an age thing?
guy.
Because thank you, I looked at him and was like, hey,
Red,
is it
red,
just me?
red looks orange under amber
No,
light.
no,
You know,
no,
the
no,
flag
no.
was just like this.
That
But
guy.
no, I totally feel you, Amina.
No, but-
The moral of the story is, pull your ears. When this thing, sometimes when the deal is too good, think twice. Before you go and commit, you're like, me, I'm grown. Just know that grown acts have grown consequences. And there are really sick people out in this world.
Yes.
So before you go and do grown things, just know that there are very many Mataras in this world.
Many.
And may he rot in
Mataras.
hell.
I know. Kwach just looks like he can never do that to you, though. You know what I mean? And then he does.
just-
Until he does.
Kwach
And
will
you're
do it
Ulikuwa
like,
in
umeanza
another way.
vizuri. Ulikuwa umeanza vizuri. Sio kisu, sio
but
kisu. ni cha-
honestly, I just think that, you know, don't meet. Oh man, I wish there was a clear way I could advise people without sounding like Shafi or Joe 3 years ago.
Yeah.
But sometimes meeting someone for the first time in a private, enclosed house
Maybe it wasn't even the
area. Oh, it wasn't the first.
Maybe it wasn't
God
the first.
damn. You know what? I don't.
You
even
never,
know.
you never
My
have
husband
control
just
to
did
when
this.
it will happen.
You know-
Just try to.
Mato?
I think.
I just need to clarify something as well. Because this is, it's something that, as you've said, we are talking about it once again.
Yeah.
It's something that is happening again. And there have been other cases of femicide that have not gotten the same attention that this one has gotten. The reason why this is getting this kind of attention is
Because Kanyari's
because of the
sister.
circumstances surrounding what happened.
It's not
You know,
because it's
that is
Kanyari's
why
sister.
it can't be ignored. It can't be ignored. You know,
Yeah.
the circumstances around it can't be ignored. We need to acknowledge it and figure out ways of having this conversation in a way that, I don't know whether it will help.
Yeah.
You know,
But at least it's honest.
I don't know if
Yeah,
the family.
At
yes,
least we're
it needs to be
acknowledging
honest.
that this is a business, that people are doing this, and it may not necessarily have been what she was doing,
Yes.
but it's something that people are doing all the time, and it's becoming an increasing issue because we're seeing numbers just rise by
Right.
the day. The hashtag is TTTT. Maybe you could tell us what we could do. What should we tell people? What do you tell your younger sister when she tells you she's going to meet Kwach or Mat? Okay, not Matu. I don't know why I'm using Kwach. I'm so sorry. Kwach is a really nice guy. He's honestly an amazing guy. But just tell us. We're going to read your tweets after the break. We have to take a break. We'll be back in a bit. We'll be back.